Hey, good people, it's Goldie here with Locs too, and I just wanted to come on because I have had this burning question on my mind for some time now, and I'm really not trying to be funny. I really want to understand what the problem is because I don't get it. Um, but for whatever reason, there seems to be a lot of negativity around the idea of having locks combined. What is that about? Why are people so stressed out and so concerned, and why do people feel like it's like the end of the world because they have to have locks combined? I don't understand that. Now for me, and of course this is just my opinion because it's my page, but y'all know I try to keep it real with y'all. I try to keep it all the way live, and I keep it funky with y'all where I can. If your hair is thinning and you're wearing locks, particularly sister locks or uh, micro locks, it's a high probability at some point during the life of your locks, you may have to combine a lock or two. And I'm not understanding why people are acting like this is the end of the world. What are some reasons why people need to have their locks combined? Well, one, you have thinning. You have locks that are just not flourishing, and that could be because of vitamin deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, or just hereditary issues and stress, environmental stuff, too much traction, too much tension, repeatedly every time you're going for retightening, they're doing it too tight. Pull, aggressive styling, pulling back on the edges and things like that. But it's not just the edges where you may end up needing it, but there's many factors that can contribute to a person's locks thinning. And what I understand, at least what I try to do with my clients, is if they get to a point where I'm noticing over time that the locks are changing, the hair is thinning in certain places, we got to start having some conversations about what's going on there. But if it's thinning too much, like last time I saw you, your hair was fine, and then you come in and it's barely hanging on, and it's really, really looking like a sickly lock. I'm going to look to combine that lock with its neighbor, because I want to catch it before it's just hanging on by a strand or two. Because at that point, there's nothing you can do. I might as well just let it go on and fall out and just hope it doesn't fall out while you're walking down the hallway at work. So I have combined locks in an effort to salvage that hair in that section, and it's worked out well. But what I don't understand, and I guess what I really think is problematic, is when you have consultants and locticians out here, and they're almost like condescending, towards clients, if they like, particularly transfer clients that come to them and they have locks that have been combined. Now let me say this: if you're one of those people that someone combined your locks and there was no rhyme or reason to how they did it and your hair is a hot mess, then yeah, I'd be pissed off as a consultant as well, as a loctician as well. But in general, most people, when they go to combine a lock, they're going to do so with care and try to preserve your grid if you have a grid. But people that are combining locks because of laziness, because they don't want to go through and retighten, they're trying to keep their retightening time down to 2 hours or whatever. Now those people, yeah, y'all need to be hit upside the head because that's not appropriate. But people that are legitimately combining locks to preserve the health of the hair, I don't understand what the problem is with that. And if people are telling you that no, you don't need to combine your locks, and then you're just supposed to keep watching your hair get thinner and thinner until the damn lock falls off, that's a problem. And unfortunately, you see that with a lot of people where they will go because they trust their consultant, they trust their loctician, and the loctician is very opinionated about things. But my thing is this: as consultants, as locticians, we're being paid to give our professional advice and to preserve the health of our clients' hair as best as we can, as for as much as we can control. So not being responsive when we see that what we're doing is not working with the client's hair, that should be a problem. That should be a problem, because to continue to retighten a lock that you know is weak and fragile, when you have the ability to combine it with the neighboring lock that will give it some more stability so it can grow out together, I think that's a problem. If you're not willing to be responsive and do something different, you keep doing the same thing expecting that something different is going to happen. Most of us, as we get older, our hair is going to thin, okay, in certain places. Some of us are blessed with that good thick hair and we don't have to worry about it, but most of us, we don't have the same hairlines at 40 and 50 years old that we had at 18 and 20. So it's very reasonable that as time goes on and life happens to us, that you're going to have places in your hair that become weak. And that is not something that we should be, shamed about or anything as clients. So I guess I'm saying all this to say, if your hair is not doing well and your consultant wants to combine a few of your locks to give it more stability, stop fighting that. Unless you don't mind your locks falling out while you're walking down the hallway at work. If that doesn't bother you, then hey, rock on, sister, right? But I'm just saying, most of us are going to be in the preventive phase. And part of being preventive means establishing your locks in a manner that will be able to endure the test of time. That means not putting them in so small that when they get to their mature state, all they're going to do is break off. You start with the end in mind is what should be happening. But I just want clients to stop stressing about the idea that, oh, I don't want you to combine my locks. Okay, if you don't want your locks combined, that's fine. But also don't be in the chair crying when you come in with a handful of locks because that consultant or that loctician wanted to combine your locks at some point in time and you chose to not have them do it for whatever reason. Now you want them to work a miracle and reattach locks. It really doesn't work that way. Now, there are some instances, where people are combining locks because they got too many doggone locks in their hair. And I will say that some people found out the hard way during our lockdowns, right? These COVID lockdowns, where they saw that 6, 7, 800 locks in their hair was not cute at all when it came to the stress of having these extended periods of not getting their retightenings. So some of those people learned real quick that, I think I understand why people say we don't need all these locks in our hair. You don't need a gazillion locks to give you volume. You just don't believe that lie. So some people will combine because the locks are just too small. It takes too long to sit for retightenings and things. And that's also an issue, but it's your prerogative. It's your hair. So if you need your locks combined, get your locks combined and stop stressing about it. It is what it is. And if your consultant or your loctician is not being responsive to the fact that your hair is making some changes and it's going through some changes and that something different needs to happen to salvage it, you should be giving a side eye to that, okay? Because most of us have a rhyme or reason for what we do. Now, some bootleggers, they don't. But I'm just saying a lot of us do know a little something about this lock game. And so if we recommend that you combine some of your locks, it's probably a good idea that you do it because we're trying to get you hooked up before it's too late. Okay, so I'm just saying, if y'all tripping about having your locks combined, but yet you got 2 strands holding on to one lock on the edge, go ahead and combine them damn locks and stop tripping. That's all I'm saying.